I think that when you have your internal feuds and your sales department comes and says, but we need to make this as easy as we can for the customer, I think then you could have the information to say we can still make it easy for them, but we'll upset them a lot less, or we'll take less losses if we leave the duties and taxes up to them to handle in their own country. Comments on that? Is this a discussion you ever have in your company? No? Okay. Okay. Let me just review DDP here to make sure I'm not missing anything that I wanted to bring out. Oh, the other risk, if you bring anything in DDP, that your seller is using the wrong HTS code. They're classifying your product that you're buying the wrong way. The U.S. government is coming back to the importer of record. They're not going back to the seller in China, Taiwan, South America, wherever. And there are different VAT taxes, value-added export taxes in Asia. So there is an incentive for them to manipulate the classifications in their favor. And it might not be the right ones here in the U.S. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. That's 11 INCOterms. Down from 13. There used to be 13. They've eliminated 2. I always like to remember them. X-Works and DDP are very similar. They hold the same risks. Okay, they're just on the buyer and seller's end. FCA and DDU, or now is DD, not DDP, DDT, are a lot alike. Okay, so those are your 4, excuse me, your 4 INCOterms on either end, from the seller and the buyer. They're very similar. Just depending on what end you're at. DAP, I'm sorry. Let's talk about insurance. $313. Denise asked about if you need to buy insurance on a per shipment basis or if you have your own policy. There's three at the top right-hand side of 313. You have the three types of policies that you could buy. An open-end policy is for companies that I would say probably do more than 5 shipments a year. If you do more than 5 international shipments a year, you should really look into an open policy. An open policy is an insurance policy that covers multiple shipments. This type of policy can be set for a specific total value that requires renewal once the insured amount reaches its limit, or it can be open for shipments of any total value but for a set period of time. Example, 1 year. A voyage policy is a single shipment policy. And contingency policy is a supplemental insurance policy, generally for exporters in situations where the importer may be responsible for the insurance. It's just something additional. I will tell you that when you go to a freight forwarder to buy insurance, you're just putting another layer in the process, okay? You have the insurance companies, you have the brokers, and now you're going to put a freight forwarder, okay? It's much cheaper if you took your company, took out the freight forwarder, went right to the broker. A broker will not sell you single shipment coverage. They won't. But they will sell you open policy cargo insurance. And be very careful if your company has a cargo policy, a domestic cargo policy, you need to check with your insurance company that may not cover an international shipment. Depending on what region of the world you ship in, your open policy may not cover war, hijacking, I think there was, okay, terrorism. There's a list, and you know what? I didn't mark it, and I should have. But I know it's in the book. Just check your policy, because it's not as simple as your domestic policy. Okay? There's a section there on insurable interest.